morning. Welcome to Village in Motion. Today is Thursday, April 20th, 2017. My name is Susan Gerhard, and starting our program this morning, I have with me Greg Zernhelt from Finance. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
This is the first time we've met. I know you've been here a while, but we haven't met. Tell me a little bit about you. How long have you been at Greenspring?
I've been at Greenspring just over 2 years now.
So about the same period of time that I've been here.
Yes.
And you came here from where? Where were you before Greenspring?
Previously, I came from a company that did government contracting. I actually worked on a project for the FDIC. So I worked out in Arlington. And
your job here at Greenspring is as a finance analyst. What does a finance analyst do?
That's correct. So I work with a lot of the financial reporting. I work with not only with the finance director here, I help provide information to the various departments throughout Greenspring, and I also work with our corporate office for information that they need as well. And I also help out with the residents with questions.
So you analyze the Greenspring spending and put it on spreadsheets and tell us how we're doing and keep an eye on things.
Yeah, so we kind of check out, how at a high level of how the whole community is doing, but then we also look at each at a departmental level. Then we break it down as far as like how are we doing in revenue, how are we doing in expenses, what can we do to improve, to lower our costs, so forth. And
your background is, your education was in finance, in accounting, in what?
I was actually in business. So my degree is actually in business. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then you moved into this world.
That's right, yeah.
Terrific. Well, we're happy to have you here. And I know that you've really stepped forward when we were between finance directors. So terrific. That's good. So what would you like to talk about this morning?
Well, one thing that I'd like to talk about is the various forums that we've recently.
I know we have some terrific educational opportunities coming up again.
Yeah. So we've had 4 forums for when a resident moves out or passes away. So that mainly applied to independent living, but also for Garden Ridge as well. So we've had 4 of those forums, very successful. We got pretty good feedback. We had over 800 employees and families attend those forums. So we were happy with the turnout of that. And due to that success, we're planning on having 2 additional ones this year.
So you have one coming up, I think, soon?
Well, the one coming up is actually when a resident permanently transitions to Garden Ridge.
Okay, never mind that. I'll put that aside.
Yeah, so we'll be having 2 more for moving out forums, and one will be on August 4th, and the other will be on November 9th.
Okay.
So one for summer, one for winter. We haven't started advertising those yet because I think we're going to be talking about in a second here, we'll be having when a resident permanently transitions to Garden Ridge first.
So moving out is whether I'm moving out of my apartment to leave Greenspring for whatever reason.
Correct.
Okay. Whether voluntarily or involuntarily.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So there's a lot of good information to know about that, especially for families attending. It's good to kind of plan ahead and get ahead of it, so that your family knows what to do after you've passed away.
So good for family members to also sign up for
definitely,
these.
Definitely. I would say that the message is almost for family members, because once you pass away, then it's going to be up to them to follow through with the refund and so forth like that.
Yes. So you'll be putting out publicity for these a few weeks before they're actually scheduled to happen.
Yes. And one of the things that we like to point out from these forums, which we talk about, is for people to come in and check their files to see what documents they have on hand currently, or to update information. And these would be documents such as their power of attorney. Do you have a trust, and maybe we don't have it on file? Do you have a will? So documents of that nature.
So these are the documents that when we all moved in, we were in a flurry of all kinds of paperwork that we put in, and maybe we didn't.
Exactly.
We forgot about it after that, and we said, oh, we'll go back and check that, and years passed, and we have no idea what's there.
Yeah, definitely. And some people may have been here for 10 years now, and and things may have changed in their lives as far as who they want their refund to go to. When you first came in, maybe you didn't have a trust at that time, and now you have a trust, and so we would want to change your refund documents to reflect that the refund goes to the trust instead of, say, the estate or individuals.
So I don't have to wait until I go to one of these forums to have those documents reviewed, correct?
That's correct. You can stop by the office at any time, and we can open up your file and kind of show you what's in there. And we also have a checklist that our move-out coordinator, Dana Brown, has put together. So it just kind of gives you a list you can kind of check down to see what items that you have or may not have.
Now, what's the importance of having those documents on file?
Well, the importance depends what the document is for, because say if it's a power of attorney, in order for us to speak to someone other than yourself, we have to have the legal document, the power of attorney document, for us to speak to another person that's not you. So if you want one of your children to be able to call in and talk to us about your account or anything, we would need to have a power of attorney.
They can't just walk in and say, I'm John's son.
That's right.
Let me into his apartment. I need to do this or that.
Yeah, we have to have your okay to do that. So it's more so of protecting your interests.
Right. Okay. So important advice to do that.
Definitely, yes.
So if you haven't reviewed your documents recently, now is a good time to do that.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's talk about the movement to Garden Ridge Forum.
Yeah, so we've already had one session for when a resident permanently transitioned to Garden Ridge, and we'll be having 3 more scheduled. The next one upcoming is April 29th, and then we'll have one on October 6th, and then looks like October 18th as well.
So this is not necessary. Someone said to me, well, they're just trying to get me to move to Garden Ridge so they can get my money. That's not the point of this. The point of this is, in case at some future time, that would be something that, for health reasons, we would need to do, we'll understand it.
Yeah, it's definitely something that people should plan ahead for right now while they are in good health or in good mental health, because you never know what's coming down the road. And you should get your family involved so that they know what your wishes are and what they want you to do, and just what it takes to move over to Garden Ridge. So it's more of informational to help people out. Don't wait till the last minute when you are having health problems or possibly mental decline your mental facilities. So it's just more of a planning.
And this is another forum to which you should invite your family members.
Definitely, yeah. Good idea to get your family members involved so that, like I said, maybe you come to a point where you're not able to think quite as clear as you used to, so that your family is involved, maybe they could be the power of attorney, and then they can help make these decisions for you.
Right. This is especially important if family members live out of state.
Yes,
When
definitely.
Sometimes decisions have to be made quickly, they understand what's going on. Excuse me, and what the situation is, and what the possibilities are.
Yeah, so it's a good idea, and we have the different groups involved. We have like the social work group involved, the administrative office over in Garden Ridge. So just people that have knowledge of the situation and what it takes to move over there.
I think, as I understand it, in both of these educational forums that you have, you bring in representatives from all over the community as part of this educational process. It's not just talking about it from a finance standpoint.
Oh yeah, definitely. Finance is actually a small part of it. We've had, like I said, we've had social work, we've had the security department, because when when the resident moves out, if someone passes away, security is the first contact. So someone a family member would need to contact the security department, and then they check the file that we have and see, what documents are there. Is this person, the trustee or so forth, to enter the apartment. So not only for entering the apartment once someone's deceased, but also the files are there for all the knowledge that we have.
Right. I've had several residents say to me, well, I've tried to get my children to take over looking at my paperwork and all of that, and they say they're not ready. We can't encourage you enough to bring your children into this planning process, the importance of their understanding that.
Yeah, it definitely can be a sensitive subject, especially for children. Children don't want to think of their parents as, aging. But it's really just important for them to be brought in on the conversation so that, because once in a while we will have people where the children come in and they just don't have any idea what their parents wanted or where their documents are or so forth. So it's a good idea. It helps out the family members that are remaining.
And for people who don't have children, like that would be my case, it's important for those of us who don't have children to have set up some other contact person, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's some other person in our lives who we feel comfortable and we have documented legally giving that person the access to take care of these issues for us, because there is not anyone else who's going to jump in and do it.
Yes, definitely. And I will just throw out there also that Kimberly Nelson would also say that people can donate their refunds to the Benevolent Care Fund as well.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Right.
Either partial or all. So,
right.
So
yes.
definitely.
So I'm talking about as far as accessing the apartment
exactly, yes.
and closing out an estate.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have just a couple more minutes. Actually, one more minute, they're telling me. I think you wanted to talk to us just a moment about having our monthly payment automatically taken from an account and paid to you directly.
Yes, definitely. One option of a payment is to have an automatic payment set up where it is taken directly by the bank, whoever the resident's bank, and the payment is paid to Greenspring by that way. The alternative methods are, providing a check payment to us, either here at Greenspring, but those get sent off to a lockbox over by Baltimore, so there's a little bit of a timing difference for that. Automatic payment gives you the security of knowing that the payment will automatically be taken out, and you still have a chance to review your statement before the payment's taken out, because even though the amount is determined at the beginning of the month when the statements are generated, the bank transaction actually doesn't occur until around the 20th of the month.
And if I wanted to set that up, how would I do that?
We have the papers in the finance office.
So stop in your office.
Stop in our office, and we can provide that to you and help you fill out if you have questions.
Terrific. Greg, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
A good educational situation for us, and we always appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And thank you so much, and we'll be back with a second segment in just a moment.